I would say probably the first Aunt Viv.
The first Aunt Viv?
Yeah, I'd probably say the first Aunt Viv.
I like that.
Yeah, brown
man.
skin Aunt Viv.
I know dark
Janet
skin.
Hubert.
The ballerina dancing in the.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Bro,
no offense to second Aunt Viv, but I just had to say for sure.
Bro, look.
First Aunt Viv.
I can't even say, look, so I ain't had nothing against the second Aunt Viv, but the second Aunt Viv was uppity. It's like, bro.
I think we're going.
What's going on, family? Come on, bro. What's going on, family? Welcome to Room 518. It's your boy, Big Kountry, a.k.a. T-Rail. We also got my boy, DeAntony, in the building, man, as usual. We ain't in the building. We really at our houses, and we on the computer. But you know how I go, man. We happy to be here today. This is a special episode for us, man. This is the Mother's Day episode. So this is a week of Mother's Day, so we are probably going to spend quite a bit of time on moms. But you know how we start off. Dad, how was your week, bro?
Oh, man, the week was good. It's been a good week. I actually was, had this Friday off. I was able to kind of, work from the house, and the week has been good. I'm starting to see some of my, plant life outside take some life now. Yeah, it's a good part of the season to, you're starting to see stuff change. So it's good. Week's been good. Not much to complain about. I mean, we could complain about a lot, to be honest, but we won't keep it light on this show. But, a lot of news happening right now. And, I covered a lot of that on the Quiet Loud, just this past episode. So, I feel free to check that out after this if you want. Appreciate it. What's been going on with you?
Oh, man. You already know what's been going on with me, brother. So I have 3 kids. One of them broke both of their legs.
Oh, so, right. Yeah. I mean, left.
Yeah, definitely dealing with that right now. But he's going to be okay. He's very disciplined kid, man, and actually it's probably why he did it. Just his discipline, him going through his process of wanting to get stronger and trying to beat his best track time in the 100 meters. He snapped him running. So that's that's totally crazy. But the doctor was like, I've had people break one and then come back and break the other, but it's rare that you see people break both of them at the same time. You are very. He was like, you are different. World? Yeah, like how you do that? So going through that, man. But otherwise, bro, it has been a pretty good week trying to catch up, being behind. So, because when you with your kids, you can't always get as much as you want to get done. So we getting back to it, bro. We getting back to it now, man. But yeah, bro, that's been the biggest part of mine, man. I had had a little issue, where a little kid came up. I told you about the kid came up to the house, and the kid, Maja screams at me like. She's screaming at the window, first of all. She's screaming at the window. No. But if she's screaming at the window, guess what that means for me? That means I have to
go
actually
and say something.
Door and say something. Yeah, so I said something, man, just to let the kids know, you got to chill out, man, so, yeah, that's what we started.
That's hilarious because, you were just a couple of episodes ago, you were, man, I brought the basketball goal out and we do stuff, we want the kids to rummage and roll and play and have a good time. And I was all, hey, man, be in your own yard. It doesn't seem like it. Let me tell you something. Just today, I heard something happen, right? It was like a thud on the door. So I'm like, it wasn't like a knock. It was like a thud on the door. I was upstairs and I'm just like, I kind of just said out loud, what was that? And before I knew it, I heard the door open up and I just kind of heard, hey, yo, you better go ahead and and I'm like, what's happening right now? Boom, close the door. And so, cut to find out, my wife has opened up the door and gave some kids the business apparently, and you can see it on the camera. Someone kicked the door.
They kicked the door
and then ran. And
It's
so,
cause your ass old, bro. It's cause your old ass,
hey,
bro. They like, kick the
let me
old
tell you
man though
something.
who be talking shit. Kick his
Let me
door
tell
and
you something.
run.
All right, let that begin.
we,
Let me tell you something. Uh-uh.
I'm gonna be
I can
cussing
get rid of
parents
that.
out. You
Oh
finna be
yeah.
cussing a lot of parents out.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'll make sure the parents come through.
Hey,
Because if you
yo,
won't, I will. But
I like
I
that
mean, she
though.
took care of it just fine. I was just surprised because, like I said, that's never happened, But I think it startled her well enough that it kind of, what I'm saying. Sometimes when that fight or flight kicks in, and that fight kicked in today, she had that door
I,
open. I was like, whoa,
but you know
yeah, a
what though?
little bit of pride
When we
right
talk
here.
about, but you know what though? Let's be honest though, because this is the Mother's Day episode. Like, so when you think about it, bro, like that's what you expect from a man. Look, man, one thing about women,
That
we love to,
lioness, you know
man,
what I
wet
mean?
when it come out. It come out. You know what's crazy is we be thinking about like we because we love to be like men are the protectors, and we are, bro. And but are
Yeah,
we really considered the cornerstones? Like in the tradition of this is the Mother's Day episode. Let's be truthful. Like Mother's Day is celebrated a lot harder with a lot more fervor, so to speak, than Father's Day.
yeah, okay, yeah,
But
yeah, for sure.
is it because like my and it you we I don't want to be like, man, it's because they carry the babies. Like, nah, I carried them 9 months. Like,
Right.
nah,
I
come
mean,
on.
that is, and sometimes, and I'm fully agreeing. I think that sometimes they just stop right there. Well, we're the ones that carry the babies. And I'm like, well, you do much more than that. Like, you can hang a lot more on your hat than just that part. That's a huge piece of it. It's, in
Yeah,
fact, the part we cannot do, but you also do parts that we can do and don't. You know what I mean? So
facts,
I
facts,
think there's a lot more going on there. And I think you're right. A lot of the lessons learned and things that really imprinted on me early on came from the women in my life, and
okay, okay,
you yourself have talked about what, the center of my family's world, my wife is, you know what I mean?
facts,
This
bro,
house kind
facts.
of turns on her, so yeah, I
Okay, so
wouldn't be the one
question.
to argue with that. I think that when it is going the way it's supposed to be going, yeah, absolutely, everything hinges on on them.
So the saying behind every good man is a good woman. That stands true. Same thing with families. Behind every good family is a good woman. And I really
Yeah,
believe that,
well,
right? Well,
yeah. I
actually, I
mean, I don't know
believe
if I
it
wouldn't
both
say
ways.
behind,
Well, yeah, well, no, in
but
front
you know
or,
what I mean.
comporting.
Beside, with, it's
Because
a
I really feel
compliment.
like it takes
You
both.
know,
I really feel like it
yeah,
takes both, but I also feel like
of course.
when we're celebrating like Mother's Day, I'm thinking like, the part that my lady plays, that my mom plays, that my aunties play, because it's not just, let's be real, when we grow up, we don't have just one mom. You know what I mean? You usually, if you're in the right type of community or you're in the right type of family, you got an auntie that'll snatch your ass up just as fast. And it's
Yep.
usually like if your mom ain't the mean one, you got an auntie that's the mean one, bro. Like she gon' you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember I was 4
Yeah.
years old, my auntie made me go slap the shit out somebody.
Wow.
Like for real. For real, the boy kept hitting me,
That's
man.
that's not the example I thought you were gonna give first off, but but
No,
continue.
but but, yeah, my auntie made me slap because the boy kept hitting me and I wasn't crying, but I just wouldn't, I wouldn't hit him back, and she grabbed me, she was like, "Next time he hit you, you slap the shit out of him." And so I
Okay.
did. And then when I did, the boy mama tried to jump up, like, y'all need to get him. And my auntie jumped up like, we ain't getting no goddamn body. You should have been getting your son five minutes ago. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because realistically, let's be real, bro. Our dads always tell us to go get at it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But we be holding back because our mamas be like, don't do that. I don't want you to be like that. And then when your mama give you the go, if your mama
Yeah.
give you the green light and your dad already gave you the green light, usually you about to go jump through a wall with fire, bro. And why is that,
you
bro?
know, I think we kind of operated off the "don't start none, won't be none" kind of doctrine, you know what I mean? And then it was, don't start it, but finish it. You know what I mean? Like if
There
it
you go.
comes your way and you can't get, you can't, it's unavoidable. Hey, you have to do what you have to do. And so I always felt like there was a little bit of if you got into a fight someplace, at camp or at school, and they called your mom and you knew something was gonna happen, that I'm like, oh my God, they're calling, like I got in trouble. You know what I mean? That walk to the office where you're like, I got in trouble. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, you know. But then I go to sit down and I'm kind of thinking to myself, I'm running it back in my head, like I wasn't the one in the wrong here. You know what I mean? Like I might be able to you know, logic my
Smooth
way
this
out of it. I
out.
might be able to say, hey, they brought this to me and maybe I won't get in so much trouble. And that pretty much was how it went, because
I like
I
that.
didn't really start things, but a lot of times if you got me riled up enough, I was more than happy to, to
Go ahead
finish
and
it,
finish it up.
you know?
Yeah, bro,
Right.
you get through there. You used to get through there for real, bro. You get turned when you get upset. I mean, but so for real, I think I can appreciate that though, because I believe like women carry the emotional part of our households, right? Keeps us
Yeah.
aware of emotions, so
Yeah.
we're not because we can get too far up as men. We get to the point where we ready to hurt something the wrong way, you know what I'm saying? Where your mom is like, "Look, let's
That's
be
the
more
restraint.
careful in our
Yeah.
talk."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
now, that being said, there are times when dads need to be there because when moms get to that point, mama can be real and
Yeah.
dad gotta be like, all right, baby, come on, come on,
Yes,
roll it back,
absolutely.
pull it
And
back
and
in now.
And
Woo!
that's funny how that happens because
Yeah,
it depends on the things that happen. Like, say, for instance, you get hurt playing football or something like that, you
yeah,
know, and they have to, like, all but hold your mom back, you know what I mean? From
facts.
running out on that field because and she'll tell you, it felt like she was hurt too, you know what I mean? Watching you go down like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
stuff like that, you know? If somebody like, there were times also at school where I might have been treated unfairly. I'll say this without getting too much into detail. And then my mama was a complete soldier coming up in there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
showed up, like no joke, in the best possible way. You know what I mean? That you could imagine. Came in, and this was middle school. Yeah, and I just was like, I told her something had happened, and she literally was like, "We're gonna handle this tomorrow." You know what I mean?
she handled it.
Yeah, yeah. She came in, she handled it. The teacher she came in, she asked to see the principal. Principal came out. You remember it was that, oh, well, did you go to Chapel Hill? You went to Chapel Hill.
Michael,
Yeah.
Michael Hall.
No, he wasn't the principal at the time. It was an older dude. Clarence something or other. Yeah, had Jerry Curl
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
my mama got
something.
him. My mama got him removed from Chapel Hill because I got into a real bad fight, and yeah, bro, I got into a real bad fight with a
Oh my
student, and he
gosh.
was getting us sent to jail.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
in the
Isn't
8th grade going
fights?
to jail over a fight.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, he won the principal after that. After about the 2nd month after that, he won the principal.
Oh, get out of here. Wow. Okay.
My
Oh
mom went to
man.
the school board like, "Look, I don't know what y'all need to do." Like, they ain't fire him
Mm.
from the county, but he didn't work at Chapel Hill no more after that.
Oh, okay. So he
I don't
wasn't
remember
the offender. The teacher was, basically pulled a chair out from under me, and I like fell, in
what?
front of like the whole class and everything. So, kicked me out of class, the whole deal. And I guess I wasn't moving fast enough, kind of pulled my chair as I was getting up, and I fell back onto the floor. I just went home and kind of mentioned it to my mom, and she was like, "What?" Oh, okay.
Okay, alright,
She was like,
alright.
"All right, we're going to school in the morning," you know. And my mom,
Yo,
she's normally up and gone, 4 or 5 o'clock, in the morning. And so for her to be like, "Oh no, this is the priority now. Like this is what we're doing. We're going to
hey,
school,"
that
and
shit
and it
hey, that joint
got
make
me
you
out. That's
feel
one of
some
the only times my parent drove me to school. actually
Shoot.
drove me to school, but we went to school that day. She went in, was like, "Hey, I need to see the principal." Principal came out, took us back. She said what happened. She was like, "I want to speak to that teacher. I want to talk to her."
Mm,
And
knew it was a female. It's always a female teacher to do that,
yeah,
like, little catty stuff, man. Oh, man. Like,
I didn't
that's
say that
crazy.
word.
Hey,
You used that phrase. That wasn't
that's what
me.
it was. That's what it was. You pulled your chair from under me. Like, what are you
Pulled the chair
doing?
from under me, but
Yeah.
yeah, pulled the chair from under me,
You
and
get
and
under
uh, and
people's
I think
skins, though.
really was just embarrassed me because this teacher kicked me out quite a bit. And in class, I'm a mild mannered person. I don't do a whole lot of
That's true. That's true. But
talking.
you
I
can't
just
get
don't
under
like to
person's
get
skin.
talked to any kind of way, like
Nah,
and
you
that
gonna
was the
check that.
thing. Being talked to me any kind of way, I'm gonna push back on that, and you know, I don't
Thank
know,
God.
maybe it just happened once, and she didn't like me from then on, but it kept happening. So
For
that time,
real?
I guess, was the last straw, and so my mom took it to that. I never have a problem, and for the rest of the time I was there.
I
So
bet you didn't. And I know you it's funny because when that type of stuff happened, you can see moments where you would have normally had a problem, and it's like, "Oh, this teacher is really keeping it cool right
exactly,
now.
yeah. Oh, that
I'm gonna
happens
keep
so
it
many
cool
times,
too."
and what happens is you just kind of get that look,
Yeah,
from the person you see them, kind of give you that look, that knowing look, like they would have said something.
yeah,
You
but they're
know,
gonna leave it
I'm thinking
alone.
of saying something. Yeah, you're like, go
I know
ahead,
better.
make
I
my
know
day.
better. Yo, so
Right.
we had did you have a big mama in your family? Like, we had a big mama.
There was somebody I remember being referred to as Big Mama, but she died when I was in elementary school, maybe like third grade. I think it was my dad's mom.
Mhm.
So my paternal great grandmother is who
Yeah,
people
man,
refer
back in the
to
day, you
as
had a
Big
big
Mama.
mama. And
Yeah.
you think, man, like, so some of this comes from a time when, like, people don't realize when they be like, black people don't have fathers in the home, like, that wasn't always our fault. That was definitely, by design for a long time, you know what I mean?
True.
And so because of that, like, mothers did completely come together as a unit. Like, it wasn't just because if you talk about slavery in those times, they were separating whole families. So it was
Yeah.
women that were organizing and making sure the kids still got what the
Sure.
kids needed. And we're gonna make sure that this baby get a meal, even though this baby ain't my baby. This baby is our baby. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Sure.
so just that thought process when we did start getting like more direct families and we had actual central family units, you see where the big mama still carried that
Wow.
same weight. She
Yeah.
put things in perspective. She was the person that was the
Yeah.
cornerstone, man. Like,
Yeah.
black men protect. We protect. We made sure that the village was protected as a whole. Like, I'm gonna make sure all the family protect. I die for us, but if I
Right.
die, I know she gonna make sure. She gonna make sure things still run and function. If I gotta leave for a year, 2 years, whatever happens, she gonna make sure things still run and
Right.
function, man.
Right.
Yo, I
That's
don't know,
real.
man. It's crazy because I don't really know where the episode goes other than that point, but I just know that that's a
I mean, who
very
does that make you think of, though? Do you ever sometimes just to, and because everything you said, I mean, I agree with.
Mhm.
I mean, I think in a way we will lay everything that we have out there, and the same thing is happening, except that it's making everything else around us have texture. It's making everything else, makes a house feel like home. It makes,
Yeah,
everything feel filled out. The world
yeah,
is the world because you know what I mean. Like we fight to
facts.
protect what is being built on the inside and organized and taken care of. Not just in the house but in the community, and that really it kind of makes you think. Because regardless of what was happening on the outside happening to us, you know what I mean? The thing that
Yeah,
was maybe taking the father out of the house, sometimes taking the mother out of the house in some cases,
yeah,
there was still people we could look to, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Even if it was like on TV, like, sometimes people would talk about how, maybe somebody like Claire Huxtable might be the top tier mother
That
figure
they
that you
never
could
had.
see. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It just kind of embodied somebody who worked, but was also really educated and driven and, you know, was all about the home and protecting her kids and family and everything, you know what I mean? And
Okay.
then, you know, it's, you know, do you ever see like sometimes it's a Claire Huxtable moment or that's a Rochelle from Everybody Hates Chris moment
Bro, hey, bro.
or,
So,
you know what I mean?
all right. So, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, check who in Black TV motherhood, who reminds you most of your mom?
Oh, wow. Okay, if I had to just man, if I had to just say it straight out, I would say probably the first Aunt Viv.
The first Aunt Viv?
Yeah, I'd probably say the first Aunt Viv, you know what I'm saying? My mom is like quick-witted and, you know, smart and, you know, she has always kind of knew what she wanted and could kind of make that happen even with us too. And
Oh, I love
yeah,
this
I
answer.
mean, really kind of carried herself, you know, not a very tall statured person, but carried herself also, you know, like she was though. You know what I mean? And taught me to do the same thing. You know, so
Wow, the first Aunt Viv, though.
yeah,
I like
yeah,
that, man.
brown skin and Viv,
I know dark
Janet
skin, you know,
Hubert.
the ballerina dancing in the
Yeah,
doing the
yeah,
little
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Heck yeah, yeah.
Bro,
No
now,
offense to second Aunt Viv, you know, but I just had to say for sure
bro, let's be man, look,
first Aunt Viv.
I can't even say look, so I ain't had nothing against the second Aunt Viv, but the second Aunt Viv was uppity. It's like, bro, come on, man. Which had she been on the show from the very beginning, it would have been fine. But the problem is
Was
she
she
came
or was
after
she just light skinned?
she was uppity, bro. It wasn't about like if I close my eyes and listen to her talk, the way she was a lot different than she came with a certain amount of
Oh,
air.
she was
Like
different.
she fits,
Yeah.
I'll say this. She fit Carlton's mother better than the first Aunt Viv did.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The first Aunt Viv made a better
Okay.
aunt for this is crazy how we even coming up with this
Mm.
because this is like such a like perspective, right? The first Aunt Viv fit Will Smith better. Like she fit who
Okay.
Will was when he first
Right. Yeah,
came
yeah, for sure.
from
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Philly.
yeah. Wow, okay. Yeah.
But by the time they replaced her, Will had kind of calmed down and he was kind of into his groove. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't feel
Yeah.
like the first Aunt Viv would have fit in as the matriarch of the family when the show was
Oh.
first came. And that's is weird because
'Cause
it's
see,
like, well, you gotta
she more kinda understood where he had come from, you know, she was more a
ask.
representation of the one who kinda got it, even though I mean, was Phil from Philly? Well, how did they meet each other? But anyway, uh, because when they went back or something when the stuff burned down or whatever happened,
They
they
went
were
to the
fixing up
house.
the old apartment or whatnot, yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Uh, but he never really seemed like he left that all behind, and you're right, she felt like she still kinda had that community in her. You know, she saw that in Will. She could still kind of, when he came and Phil was really misunderstanding him, she could see through that at first. You know,
Wow, yeah. So
yeah,
it's
that's good, man. I didn't really think about that like that.
but see, that's what to me,
The first hand bit.
that's what makes that's what to me, that's what makes a great matriarch, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like the ability to relate in a way that's still motherly type deal.
Okay.
Because dads don't try to relate. Dads is like, look, I want you to be better than me, and that's what we producing. We producing
Right.
better than me, whatever
right.
that
Right.
means. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna be better than me by all means necessary. You know what I mean? Like, so
Right. Right. For
that's kind
sure.
of the difference. But I will say, first Mrs. Winslow or second Mrs. Winslow. This is an easy one though.
Come on,
And then
first.
the
Absolutely.
first, the light skinned woman,
Oh, you said Mother Winslow? Who we
yeah,
talking about? The old lady?
Family Matters.
The grandmother?
No, Family Matters, the wife. Carlton's,
Carl's wife? Harriet?
yeah, Harriet. I don't know why I'm calling her
The
Mrs.
original
Winslow.
Harriet?
The
Of
original Harriet
course.
was dark skinned, and then the light skin one came later.
Yeah.
She did. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm getting it backwards. Yeah. The
Man,
first one,
wow. Hey.
my fault, because I was going to say she was the
Hey, y'all.
main one for like 10 years, like forever. Like damn, my fault.
Joe Marie Payton. She was the main one, kind of raspy voice. She was the original.
She reminds me of what my mom was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
You know
cause
why? She was from Georgia.
for real,
She had a Southern accent in
man.
Chicago.
Look, don't
I
ask me
don't
to
know how
remember
they,
all that.
I don't know how
Like,
they explain that. Yeah, she had a Southern accent, and they were in Chicago. But
yeah,
that's why she felt so familiar, because she sounded like people sounded where we were from.
hmm, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's a good one. That's a good mother. Who we said so far?
We
Let's
said
see. We can
Vivian
see if we can
Banks.
bracket these out and find the top.
Okay, so we
We
got
said no. We didn't really get into the merits of
what makes them.
Claire Huxtable. I just kind of said her name.
Yeah,
So, but then you said,
I
oh my
like
God,
I like Harriet Winslow, the dark skinned one,
Harriet. Oh yeah,
and you
because I
like
said Aunt Viv.
the dark skinned Aunt Viv. Now, are we
I
biased?
just
Are
said
we biased?
I just said the first. I never said according to her hue, even though it does seem to track because I'm brown skinned. My mom is too.
But question though, are the brown skin replacements or the brown skin characters, are they more spicy as far as the way the shows present them than the lighter skin ones?
Uh,
It
I can
feels
see
that
how
way,
you
bro.
could say something like that. Yeah, because in both cases, the replacement was a more toned down version. Like the personality was a more toned down personality. It was almost
Exactly.
like they were kind of dimming that person down so that maybe in that case, Will and Carlton could have more
Shine.
spotlight, or Urkel and Laura, who were starting to at the time of that change be kind of in a relationship, which still boggles me, but could, so that they could have more of the spotlight. You know what I mean? Because in the case of Family Matters, yeah, I feel like in both cases actually they did kind of change them down a little bit,
Yeah, they did. It's crazy
soften
because
their personalities.
you didn't realize it until I didn't realize it till years later. Like, because growing up, we used to call Family Matters Steve Urkel. Like, I'm about to
Oh
watch
yeah,
Steve
you
Urkel.
called it Urkel for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Only to realize, like, he was never supposed to be like the main character of that show. It happened
No,
by
yeah.
happen. Like,
No,
people just like,
the mom was the spinoff.
you
The
see what I'm
show
saying?
was about her, yeah. So she was actually, you remember the show Perfect Strangers?
Yeah, yeah.
She worked, so remember on the show, when the show Family Matters first started, she was an elevator operator, right? She
Oh
was an
shit.
elevator operator in the building they worked in, that Larry worked in on Perfect Strangers. So she was on
Man.
that show first, and they spun that show off into Family Matters. So it was supposed to be about their family, and then Urkel just kind of infiltrated, made it
And
about him. I mean, by the end, he was even living in their house.
bro, he was the
It's
big
crazy.
when his parents moved away. His parents left him and moved away.
Uh huh.
Didn't they just leave him up and leave? Like
He
it
was
wasn't even
gone.
like they really was trying to tell him that his parents. You
Yeah.
never met his parents, and they didn't like him.
No. Yeah. Well,
They didn't like
exactly.
him.
They didn't like
Got
him.
him in the
So we can
basement.
put his mom on the bad mom list.
Whoever she was,
She'd be
Mrs.
the first
Urkel.
one to be on the bad mom list.
Okay, so we got two that are actually. So we've named three black ones because I don't want to necessarily make this a black and white one because
Right.
I'm a big. What's the? Hold on, give me a second because
You can't
there's
even remember the show.
Jill Taylor from Home
Oh,
Improvement.
yeah. Home Improvement. Solid.
I'm absolutely
That was a
loved her
very
as a
solid
mom.
choice. Yeah.
She was
Yeah,
dope.
she was good.
Now, what made her dope is because she actually, whereas the other shows, the mom really didn't. The shows that we've given so far, no, because Claire Hustle, we used to be on Bill ass because he used to do some silly shit, and
Yeah.
he was worried about her as much as he was
Yeah.
worried about as much as the kids were,
Yeah.
and that's what you got from
But
Home
you know what
Improvement.
though? Jill had more of an arc than because in a lot of ways Claire was already established. Like Claire was at the pinnacle. She was
Yeah.
at the top of her field, you know what I mean? Her family was already established. She had already had 5 kids, the youngest was already in elementary school.
Whole
Whereas
doctor, whole
Jill,
lawyer, goddamn.
Jill had been a homemaker for so long, but decided she wanted a career.
Go
And
back
then
to
we
work.
got to see her, go to school for whatever it was, psychology or something like that, come out, have to kind of intern and practice and build that whole thing up, So you actually got to see a mom have to kind of struggle with doing the stuff at home and trying to, make a way for herself too and kind of fulfill, what she wanted to do as well. I mean, I feel like,
Yeah.
and I do feel like my mom worked, and so I come from a household where, and a family where the women worked. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think it was a interesting concept to me when I first found out that there were people who didn't, like their moms stayed at home
Yeah,
the whole
like,
time.
when I'm listening to now to the current generation say that, I'm like, that wasn't even examples that we had, like, cause even when we talk about Everybody Hates Chris, Rochelle worked. She
She
worked her
worked.
ass
I
off,
mean, she
you know
quit
what I mean?
jobs like a mug though,
But
because
she
her man
worked.
had 2 jobs. She
Yeah,
don't
but
need this. But she
she was
could get
definitely that
another
type.
job really quick. She'd get a
Yeah.
job really quick, but then she'd be like, I don't need this. My man got 2 jobs and then quit her job. But she was always employed though. Yeah.
Now, am I biased because of the fact that because I really do like Claire
That's
Huxtable.
another brown skinned mom too you just brought up.
Bro, very much so, very much chocolate, deep, deep, deep. Yeah, man. I mean, I think my thing with, my thing is, like, because I like Claire Huxtable a lot. I thought that she's like Black America's best mom in most people's eyes.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I guess for me, it's like I wanna relate, but I'm like, dude, I don't know too many real Black moms who are lawyers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to wrap my
Of
head
that
around it.
that era, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for
But
sure.
there's definitely a whole lot more now.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the time. But see, think about it. Would half of them have even thought to try and be that without having seen her? You know what I mean?
You know what? And that we have to give credit to too.
Yeah.
We have to
Yeah.
give her credit because we don't talked about this in the episode. Was that the episode that we couldn't release? When we talked about the effects of this TV shows on the Black family. Were we able to release that
Oh,
episode?
yeah. I don't think we did, actually.
That's the one
Yeah.
that was delayed. It
I
had the
think that's
issues
another one that's in the, yeah.
in the vault.
Maybe y'all will see that one someday.
Man,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah,
think it just
that
kind of got
episode.
swept up, actually. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
But that's crazy because in that episode we were discussing how the Black family dynamic was really changing. Like we had more people, Black kids going to college because of shows like Different World, which was a
Hmm.
spinoff of
Yeah.
off of
So, oh man, let's talk about the moms on Different World because there was a lot of different types of moms. You got Whitley's mom, you got Dwayne's mom, you got
yeah,
oh shoot, Freddie's mom. Who else's mom did we see?
I can't think of their names to name
Claire is
mom.
there too because she was Denise's mom. But
Yeah, yep, sure was,
uh,
sure was.
oof,
They were all eccentric in their own ways, which is just funny, man.
yeah,
They all had their
because
own style.
yeah,
No two was the same. Similar
yeah,
to how they were on Living Single.
yeah,
Latifah
yeah, yeah.
Queen's mom and
Oh
Sinclair's.
right,
Yeah, they were very, very, like, different styles, but
Regine's mom was out there.
yeah, Regine mom was dang.
Okay,
Ah,
how about this one? And a lot of times this show doesn't come up for me personally. I like the show. I can watch the show. I don't really just pick it up and cue it up, but if it's on, I'll watch it just because it frustrates me a little bit. And that show is Good Times. I think it's the most ironic name of all times, and I'm sure it was meant to be that way anyway, but now it just irks me even more because nothing good ever happened, like ever.
it was
They
always
never
elite.
got a win. They would dangle something good, but it never worked. But I think that she was the most dedicated mom, Florida
Of the
Evans,
4
and
moms.
she had the worst kind of circumstances you could probably ask for. You know what I mean?
But
But she was very
is
dedicated, though.
is that not the most realistic show for that particular era, for
I
the
mean,
time?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it was representative, I believe, of what was going on for people in that era. You don't hear people arguing against, um, how folks were living at that time or what that looked like, and that is really sad. For one, that a person could, you know, have worked all night sometimes, like you heard James say, and he only made $20 or something like that, and you'd be like, "How is this possible?" You know what I mean? How
Man,
are
back
these people
then
supposed to be getting along? You know what I mean?
yeah, back then
It's
$20
crazy.
a lot went a lot further than it does now for sure. But I do understand what you're saying. I think now what made Good Times is because it spoke to how black people are able to turn shit into sugar. How black people are able to make
Well, they were given a lot of examples on that show
bro,
because
what you talking
things
about, bro?
just
Oh
kept
my
going
goodness.
wrong. And that's what I'm saying. She kept finding a way to summon a little bit more for the family. You know what I mean?
Matter of fact,
Very
Damn Damn
dedicated,
Damn was the
very,
very first time we ever seen her break.
yeah.
Well, she didn't know how to handle the moment. It was literally the first time that we
And I think it was probably the only time, really.
yeah,
I mean, she voiced some frustration, but that was a real peak behind and,
yeah,
what was normally a very strong exterior. It was we kind of really got to see what everything that was just building up on her, and then that was just too much because that was a ridiculous thing to do. I mean, it was a real. I think that was a behind the scenes thing as well. That choice to take James out because he was having a similar Urkel Family Matters style situation with JJ. Them
yeah,
because
yeah.
he kind of had become the star of the show.
And it
But
wasn't really and it was really supposed to be actually, she was supposed to be more of the centerpiece of that show.
yeah,
I remember them saying when they shot that show, the original plan of Good Times was not to even have a father, and she wasn't willing to do that without having
oh, is that
a
right?
yeah, yeah. So the original plot of Good Times was to be a single mother
Hmm.
with a family. She wasn't willing to allow that, which is what created the whole she wanted at the time, because they've always been trying to push the agenda of no father in a black home. And she wanted that to have a black man on the show with her. And that's how
Yeah,
James Evans became.
yeah,
Now to later take him away because he was away working somewhere where he got hurt. Because he was always away working.
right,
But that speaks to how strong the black mother has always had to be.
for sure.
And takes us
Yeah,
back to that Cornerstone piece,
yeah,
right? Like,
yeah,
so shoot, I don't know, bro, because we kind of talking about the best mom on TV
yeah,
of any generation, and she's sitting real high. She's sitting real
yeah.
high.
You know what? We were talking, and but speaking of the fact that she was a very like very blue collar, very I guess impoverished. I don't know how to, but it made me think, and this would be an unpopular one today, but I think for the time, I watched that show just like any other, until this character themselves kind of went crazy and got themselves kicked off their own show. But the original Roseanne, I think,
Wow.
was a very good because that in similar fashion, they had a lot of hardship, just like on Good Times. Like despite them being decent folks that both went to work and was just trying to make it, keep a house and for them and their three kids at the time, yeah. And she was a real one. They talked about like budgets in the house and having enough for groceries and kid having such and such going on at school and
Yeah.
such and such car breaks down or something like this. It was a lot of stuff that you might have heard in the neighborhood or around the house. They were talking about real people issues
You
on
know
that
what?
show.
I will say that's what I liked about Roseanne, and also even the Bundys, which Bundy's mom would know. She
Yeah. Yeah, I would say as much as I liked Peggy and thought she was hilarious, she would go on the
She was
bad
not a
moms
good
for me.
mom.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
she
No,
was
man, they
not the
never
good,
had food, man. They never had food.
never.
Al
And
turned
she,
over the
yeah,
money. Whatever little money Al made, he turned over to her, and who knows what she did with it. You know, the utilities would be off sometimes. There was never any food there. She never seemed particularly hungry though, even though the rest of the family did.
her hair was done.
Her hair was
Shoot,
always done,
her clothes
and
was
she just
tight.
didn't right, she just never really particularly seemed worried about it either. You know what I
No, she
mean?
didn't care.
Kids were hungry,
Hey,
and Al was hungry, and she would just be like,
Al used to be like, whatever, dog. Like,
right. So yeah,
I'm
as
stuck.
much as I thought she was funny, no, I wouldn't. She'd go on the bad moms list. Right now, I got her Urkel mom. She up here with Urkel mom,
Facts. But I
Peggy
think
Bundy.
what I liked about those shows is it depicted white
Yeah, she
America
was
in a
hilarious.
it depicted white America in a not so perfect light. And I think that
Yeah.
it was important. Also, did you watch Mama's Family?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I think
Yeah.
Mama's Family did the same thing. You know, it was
It's a
racist
tougher
as fuck.
watch today. I was about to say it's a tougher watch today.
Yeah, as
But
an adult,
yeah, yeah,
who
yeah.
knows
But
better?
that is an example of a matriarch, because everything really centered on her. The whole family. They were still living
Yeah.
there up in there and married with their own families and stuff, still living at the house. Yeah.
But I will say she was a matriarch that was very much the cornerstone that kept the root of the family together. She was
True.
tough as nails. She reminds you of an older matriarch because now what does grandmoms look like now? What is that type of cornerstone look like in today's society? There's a big difference, right? There's a disconnect and struggle now, I think.
Huh.
And it's weird because in today's culture, like, what is struggle? Is it not that it doesn't exist, or we just ignore it? You know, like
Say a little bit more.
because we have so many distractions, man. Like we could choose to fantasize with what we watch on TV. You know, there's a lot of different ways to pretend that you don't have the same struggle. You know, you can kind
Mm.
of put yourself in. You have so many different platforms that you can kind of escape to, and I ain't gonna say fantasize from, but you know, we both know poor people who don't act like they're poor, and it's like, "Yo, you're doing too
Oh yeah.
much. You're a day away from being kicked out your house. Like, what are you doing?" You know what I mean? So it's like, so it's just a whole
Yeah.
different it's a whole
Yeah.
different thing, man. You know, like mama was figuring out how to cook some meals. Now they ain't never go hungry on Mama's Family. She always had a meal coming, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you could tell they didn't have much, man. Like, what was her son name? The dummy, dumb dude. I don't
Oh
know his
man,
name.
I'm seeing his face right now, the gray hair and everything. I
Yeah,
can't remember what his name was though.
but he kept the show like, you know what I'm saying? He always like he was making a little bit of money. The dumb son-in-law or the young white guy, his son
Uh-huh.
who's married.
Right.
It's crazy because you look at this show and she used to chunk both of them off like all the way
That's
through.
what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
She's a family. I don't know. This is a tougher watch today, I would say, for me.
You think so?
I haven't seen it in a long time, so I don't know. I'm going based off my memory of actually knowing now what I was watching, you know what I mean?
Facts,
So,
facts.
but yeah, no. I remember watching it coming up, you know. I mean, you think about there's all kind of examples. I mean, we're just naming TV moms. I'm thinking about another dubious person, and these are people who were parents up, and we're watching them still kind of be parents up into their old age. You ever watch Golden Girls?
Bro,
You
come on,
had
man. Sophia was
Sophia was still living
hilarious,
with
bro.
Dorothy. Do you think you could still live with your mom or dad when they were that old and you were that old?
So I could, man. Realistically, my mama is so like not in your business. She's nothing like Sophia.
Heck
Like
yeah,
Sophia
that's
was
what I got
every time you
too.
talking
Yeah.
about something, Sophia kind of come around. Like you'll
Mhm.
be in the midst of talking about something, she'll just have her input. Like it's like, where did you come from? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so it's realistically, yeah. Hell, My mother-in-law stays here now, man, and shoot, I would say that it's the best thing for us going, because she does add balance, right? And
Yeah.
did they not, as older people in those shows, add balance? Now my mother-in-law ain't old though, and like that was considered old back then, right? But now,
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that weird? Yeah.
yeah, dynamics are different. Grandmothers are younger,
Mhm.
but and they're modern, right? So some of this stuff is kind of hard to compare, but
Yeah.
because those older women had a lot of traditions, and they were trying to hold you to those traditions,
Yeah, that's a good
so it
point.
kind of came
Yeah.
came off as pushy. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit.
Sophia was pushing in the motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying?
So I
And
think,
she
yeah,
was
so you make a
spicy.
good point. You make a good point because that was of that generation. So I mean,
Yeah.
you take somebody like her, and then you take somebody like Claire, who was a younger mother in that same kind of era, and then you speed that all the way up to what was the mom's name on Blackish? Was it something that even the name was hippy dippy? Was it Rainbow?
Uh,
Wasn't there a name? Rainbow Johnson
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Blackish.
yeah. Blackish, Rainbow Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, and so she was a very progressive mother, right?
She
Yeah.
was. Now, but
So, I
grandma
mean,
on
so
Blackish.
generations, I feel like because that show, which is the reason why I probably stopped watching it so much, it was, they had a lot of lessons and it kind of got preachy at times to me. But anyway,
I loved it. I loved it for that.
after a while, I was just like, okay, we get it. Can we just have an episode like where we're
So
not
my
going through
best
whatever
my
y'all's thing
favorite
is? But I
episode
think she was a good mom. Go ahead.
my favorite episode is when the grandma was at the house speaking, since we like,
Oh,
literally,
I
they don't
always
have no.
loved when she was on there. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's Jennifer
and
Lewis, right?
yeah, 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 and she
Yeah,
was
yeah,
on
yeah.
there, and
Okay. It's been a long time.
remember, like, the young girl didn't wanna make her boyfriend a plate, and it was a big deal, like, "Why are you making," his wife was like, "Why are you making her a plate?" And "Why are you making him a plate?" And she was like,
Hmm.
"That's my guy, I'm supposed to make him a plate." And then when they
Hmm.
sat down at the table, the grandma was like, "The reason we made our man a plate was because when he went out into that world, he was fighting against everything and
Okay.
everybody
Yeah.
all day. He
Yeah.
was gone all day. Nobody gave him respect. And when he came home, the one thing we could do for him is make his plate, let him to sit down,
Yeah.
and it speaks to what made a great matriarch in a
Oh
family.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's why a woman is the cornerstone, because she holds up
Hmm.
a man,
Yeah.
right? Is Bro, we know, I know great men in my family, man, just like I know great women. But I will say, whenever you speak of the man, the woman comes up some kind of way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can speak of the woman and the man might not necessarily come up. But whenever you speak of how great the man was, the woman kind of comes up, whether he was off doing something, and somebody would talk about how grandma would go kill a farm fresh chicken. They call them farm fresh chicken when you kill a chicken and you cook it right then. Right, so
Okay.
you kill it, boil it, pull the feathers off, and then
Okay.
you cook it. You know what I mean? We're back on chicken again, right?
Yeah. See. Yeah. I'm like
And the
thinking
gizzards
to
get ate
myself.
too, sir. The gizzards get ate too. But we would talk about how grandma would do that and have dinner cooked for him when he came home, or she would have breakfast ready for him before he went to work. So
Right.
he went and worked hard, but she still had to get up early, get things together. She had to get the kids together. She had the kids while he was gone. And let's be honest, back then, a man would take care of a lot, but he still would, man, he might have a whole nother family on the other side of town with somebody doing the exact same
Oh
thing.
my god.
And she was still so dedicated to being where he needed her to be in his position. And a
Yeah.
lot of times these women knew. They knew. They may didn't say nothing, but they knew that it was
No.
another family going through that. Some of them were probably like, "He get on my nerves anyway. I ain't want him here all the time." But for those that
Uh,
didn't feel that way, because that's the thing.
yeah. I think that's a wild thing to have to and you're right. I think a lot of that was, responsibility and honor and, handling your, keeping up, being proud and everything else, but that's a lot to me.
Yeah. It
You
is.
know what I'm
It is.
saying? To have to deal with. And that's something, yeah, I think I never really think to give credit for it too. The people who might have had that thing going on and still had to deal with the family, maybe even take in a kid that
One day kid.
right, for whatever the reasons. And, that's tough, man. I don't think at any point in time, if I existed during any of those eras, would I be able to accept something like that. You know what I mean? And that's something that kind of duty. And I think that's really what it is in a lot of ways. I mean, there's love, I think, first and foremost, but there's also this kind of sense of duty that I think you touched on before that both the mom and dad have, but it just is pointed in different directions. You know what I mean?
Agreed. Agreed.
And yeah, to see how they willed it is something that, just like I was saying before, just makes our world feel like it exists because of stuff like what you said, Jennifer Lewis's grandma said that why they make the plate. You know what I mean? It's little
Yeah.
stuff like that that gives you just that will that after a long day, somebody's thinking about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I was saying before, when I come home, I know what I can expect. And that's something that wasn't planned or something that I asked for is something that, she does. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it kind of helps me put the day behind me too. It's the first thing that happens when I get home. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so, yeah, it's those little things that give your world texture that makes it feel like your world and
I
your
think what's
world
dope
only.
about that is we're still dealing with that fight in a different way. Cause truth is, like, we know that, there are a lot of successful black women, and they're dating a lot of black men who are not necessarily not successful, but not quite as successful. We
Okay.
still deal with other struggles, and yet we still need the same thing that you get from your wife, right? We still need the same thing that I get from my lady who last week when I had to go out of town and I'm short on cash and she was like, "Hey, I'm sending you some money right now. I know what you're going through. I want to make sure you're okay while you travel and come back and forth." It's the same thing, right? Where we don't
Yeah,
have to go out and go struggle to think about how we're going to make this balance work, how we're going to figure it out. You still have somebody who says, "Hey, look, I got your back. I know that this is not the easiest moment for you right now, whether it's through job transition, because, bro, we deal with a lot of people that just are not agreeable in our lives as black men. Because if you decide to express yourself at your job and you ain't got to yell, cuss, or none of that, it still feels to them that you came off as you were aggressive.
for sure.
And you sometimes need your lady to, when you get home and you kind of venting, you need her to be like, "Babe, it's okay. They just don't get you." You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand who you are, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And it makes the biggest difference when
yeah,
you know that you can kind of express yourself at home, and at home, you don't have another enemy that you're coming home to. Definitely is the biggest reason why I salute black women in general and all
yeah.
moms, because this is not a black thing all the time. It's a
Yeah, and you'll be amazed. That's why I brought up the character of the first Roseanne because,
yeah,
because they were like really down to earth, blue collar folks
yeah,
who were
most definitely.
working for every single thing they had. They were paycheck to paycheck and making a way. And like I said, she talked about the ways that, you pay a little bit here, you do a little bit there, you make it work on either end, like
Yeah,
you have seen people do in the community. They
and
understand
she never
they
made
understand
dad feel
budgets in
bad.
a way that I think men can't at home. Like the home budget is
Yeah,
balanced some way, that they can see the way that matrix is falling. To us is just lines of code, and to them it's like, oh, we got to take this thing and put it over here. Don't touch that. It got to put, you know what I'm saying? This
facts,
everything is
bro,
balanced
facts.
just so, and I think that's the only way I can really see it because I watch how she does stuff. That's why I say, I jump in where I can because it's now developed that since we've been in this house is developed that when she's going out to do a thing with a purpose. So I'm like sometimes I don't know if I should cook tonight because I don't know what her intent was for this particular thing. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah,
And so and when you got a thing going, it's best just to kind of stand back and let it work. Now if she say, hey, this was the intent for the night, I'm like, "Okay, I got it." You know what I mean? Then I can jump
You know
in
what?
on that, but,
You know what I like about that is
I
what you're
definitely respect
saying.
how she holds it together for all of us.
Same here, man. Try to give my lady respect because if she's not gonna be here, I work my weeks. I work a full-time job, but I work the same full-time hours in 3 days that she does in 5.
Right.
So, and I work on the weekends and do it. So I do 12 hours, 12 hours, 12 hours. And so during the week I'm here unless I'm going to go do a home improvement project, which still puts me back at the house probably 3, 4 hours before she gets home.
Yeah.
So, the warning, I call her, "Babe, what you want for dinner?" She hates that, by the way. She's like, "Don't make me think about it. I've been thinking about stuff all day at
Oh,
work." And I'm
yeah.
like, "Look, you gotta tell me sometimes. Like, I get it, but you still, because I wanna make sure I'm making something that you wanna eat.
I'm the
I don't wanna
deficient
make
one on that one. Yeah.
you said what?
I'm the deficient one on that one. I'm never coming up with stuff to eat. Yeah,
See,
it's always on her.
I'm always kinda like, let me know, and if I gotta look up the recipe to figure out how to cook it, I'll cook it. But sometimes, because she's in corporate, she just feels like, "Yo, I'm so drained, I don't even wanna think about what the meal is," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
make come. Imma try to feed you something different that we ain't had in a while, but I'm just gonna come with it." But I appreciate the backbone I appreciate the teamwork that we bring together. It's times where I'm, like, ready to put my foot down, like, "No." You know what I'm saying? This is what we doing, whether it's food or just the way we're moving. But I love the fact that both of us, right? And I think a lot of black couples that we don't talk about literally want to work with their woman, the person they love, the mother of their kids, to make sure that we're all hitting those points together, right?
oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Um, I feel like the internet doesn't necessarily celebrate it the way it's supposed to be celebrated.
Yeah.
We love
Yeah.
There's a big gender war going on, which one day we're gonna have an episode about it because it sucks. And I think we both feel like it's stupid.
Yeah.
But just to have women in our lives that are actually worth being able to say, okay, I can be vulnerable enough with to give you the space to be a leader in your own right, because I
Yeah, for
need
sure.
you to be that cornerstone and leader in the moment that I may be weak. I need you to be my backbone, and be who you're supposed to be. And when you need it, I'm gonna be whatever you need me to be in that moment.
100%.
Um, but that's the great thing to me about not just mothers' relationships in general. If you And that only comes when you got somebody who deserves it.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's when
I
it
would tell
feels the
you,
most
gentlemen,
natural. Yeah.
fact. I would tell you, gentlemen, to be careful who you pick. Choose somebody worth choosing, because you want to be with somebody who's willing to allow you to be who you need to be at all times, and also supports you when you're doing it. And you need to be able to, as a man, do the same.
Right.
There are a lot of women who are scared to be married because the man is
Mm.
selfish. And we can't neither party can be selfish when we trying to build. It just doesn't work that way. Now I can have my things that I'm sticking to, just like you do. I have my things I'm gonna be stubborn about. But there are a lot of times when we both have to say, okay, no, I'm gonna make sure you okay, just like I want you to
Right.
make sure I'm okay.
Right.
Like, it's no way you can be with somebody for 5, 10 years, 20 years, 15, 20 years. And when you out during your day, you're not thinking about how they may feel about something that you're doing throughout your day.
Yeah.
Of decision that you're making. When you're making decisions, you always have to think, how does this affect the person that I love or my family? And I
Yeah.
think women are real good at that. I think that a lot of men have the opportunity to be good at that. But there are a lot of men who also think that, no, I get to make whatever decision I want whenever I want. It's a lot of women who do that too. And we
Yep.
have to get past those points. You're a great example of that, man. You guys are a great example. I always applaud Kelly, and I'll tell her happy Mother's Day right
Oh,
now.
appreciate that.
But,
Yeah, man. Hey, yeah, for sure. To
she
yours
got
too, man.
such a motherly spirit about herself, man. I love it. Love it, man. Wow.
But not to me though. She's not my mom. But
Ain't that crazy, bro? How somebody
yeah.
else can see something you like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this
I mean,
white.
I think I get it. I totally get it because I mean, I see her as a mom to my son, you know what I mean? So I see
Mhm.
her do it. I guess because, she doesn't mother me, you know what I mean? But I see her and I observe what she's doing with our son. And so I can see how we are different, in our approach with him and how sometimes we do balance each other because, you know, there'll be times where she might get on him for something and I'm kind of shielding or cutting him a break, and there may be time that I'm coming in on him a little hot and she's, you know what I'm saying, explaining something or, giving a little bit of a barrier or something like that. And so I really just applaud the whole thing. I see some of those same things that I watch her do is done with a lot of the same care that I observe my own mom do it, so definitely respect it in that way because, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people feel that way about their moms, like there's no harder working person. And my aunt counts for that too, because, you were saying, you can have more than one. And that's always actually a running joke between all of us. And when I'm talking to my aunt,
Very true.
she'll
Very true.
say sometimes in conversation, I was telling your auntie that, and this is my aunt saying this about my mom. She'll be saying, I was telling your auntie that we need to go and do it. And I'm like, like I don't even interrupt her. And then at some point she'll realize, I meant your mama. You know what I mean?
For
Because
real, bro.
yeah, it happens a lot. And if you tell one person something, by the time you talk to the other one that they know already, they're kind of really connected like that and always have been. Uh, so it's just so I could say that they both fit that bill for me too. Um, but yeah, you can have so many. My grandma, my Aunt Joyce was another huge one in my life, huge influence in my life. Still, always, her opinion has always been paramount to me. It's always been like super important to, run something past her that was really uh an idea being workshopped or, you know what I'm saying? Something like
Yeah.
that. Even when I was kind of about to get ready and launch The Quiet Loud, I just real quick was like, "Hey, I'm about to do this, like I would like you to check it out, tell me what you think." Like kind of like that,
That's dope, bro.
and it was completely out of nowhere. But even back in the days, the promotions and marketing that when I was trying to mold that into and go in another direction, I was showing her, my first proposals and this and that. And, she would point, kind of mold me and help me, learn how to do it the right way. And so I take a little bit from all of them, like my auntie is my mom's sister. She always was oh, we can do this. Like everything was, you know, could be accomplished and she was gonna make you do it if she had to drag you over the line, you know what I mean? And
I
so
like it. I
everybody,
like
you take something from each of them, from my grandma, from my mom, most importantly, and I watch my wife do all of these things all the time for our son, and so the world just wouldn't work. You're right, man. They're the cornerstone. They're the first piece of the and strongest piece of the foundation being laid, and you don't have a good home, a strong home family without the influence of one. You can have a home and family, but it is made all the much more strong for
yeah,
them in your life.
yeah, it's crazy because we look at the man, and the man is definitely like if the woman is the foundation, the man is the supporting beams around the house, right? A house will fall on the
Yeah.
foundation if it doesn't have support, wall supports and beams and
Wow.
those
Yeah.
things. But you need a strong foundation, and a lot of times women are those key fixture to help but make everything strong around you, man. It's so dope because we see it all the time. But now that's not to take away the fact that some men are the cornerstone of their families, but
Yeah.
for the most part in the black family, what we see is women are the cornerstone because they have had to be for throughout history, not because we were leaving the family system ourselves, because we were being pulled out of it. Um,
Yeah.
and it just speaks to what black women are. I told you a couple times, bro, and this is not black or white. I believe that this government that we living in right now, this government and this time that we're dealing with as an Americans is going to be saved by a woman.
I agree.
Now, whether it's black or white, it's going to be by a woman because women have the ability to be unselfish and not choose taking money from somebody over what's the greatest good for the most amount of people. Women do that better than men. Men are always going to choose selfishness for some whatever
Money,
reason.
power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where women are like, no, I want to make sure the kids are okay. I want to make sure that everybody around us is okay. That's a big difference, man. That's a big difference. So
Agreed.
I'm definitely, I'm happy with this episode. I love where we went. Salute to all the mothers. But I do have one for you. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Quick before we're done. One has to go, and why? You ready?
Yeah.
One has to go.
Okay.
Claire Huxtable, Harriet Winslow,
Oh,
Auntie Vivian,
okay.
and we also have Vivian Banks, and we also have Florida Evans. One of those mothers have to go.
Where
That's
they going?
Claire Huxtable, Harriet Winslow, Vivian Banks, Florida Evans. One has to go. Who's
Where they
going, sir?
going? Are they going on a
Going
magic
home.
cruise?
They're going home. They can't be the mama. Which
My
one of them
goodness.
out of all four of these, which one of them would you say,
Claire,
okay,
Viv,
leave
Harriet,
me?
and Florida. Can it be Viv 2 or Harriet 2?
So you trying to get rid of the light skinned ones? No, you got to get rid of the whole bunch. You got to get rid of both of them, baby. You can only
So
end up.
this family no longer has a mother. Is that what we're saying?
No, what we're saying
That's
is
tough.
most moms have a little bit of all of this in them. Most moms have a little bit of all of these women in them.
Okay,
Which
so
characteristic
which kind of characteristic or which personality we would
has
get
to
rid of?
go? Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say Florida just because, I think even on the best of times she wouldn't know how to enjoy herself because things have just been wrong for so long,
Mm.
for her. She couldn't enjoy,
Ooh, you tough.
you know what I'm saying? Even
Yeah.
if you just gave her the world, she'd be like, so what's gonna happen here? I just don't know. You know what I mean? She could never just kick back and enjoy herself. She would be worried all the time. Even though I would want her the
Oh,
most
yeah.
to feel what's going on, I just feel like she's too
Oh.
traumatized, bro. I'm trying to be as
No, I
now
get what I get.
it feels like it came off wrong now, but
No, but you gave your honest opinion on the perspective,
yeah.
right? I was gonna say Vivian, but at the same time, I get it. I get it. I'll give you Florida.
Why Viv?
I say Vivian Banks. It sucks because I'm really saying her because of the second Vivian, which we said not to do. By the second Vivian, she was so uppity. I was just like, fuck Vivian. Vivian
Why
can
did
go.
you have it out for her so bad? She was a
Man.
perfectly nice lady. You know what though? Absolutely, I take it back. She was writing that book with that man, that time, and she was staying out all late and all that. I didn't love that. Because they actually went through something on those last couple where they were having some relationship issues. I hate when
Before the
shows
show
do
went off
that.
there.
Yeah,
Facts. So,
yeah.
I would choose
Mm.
Aunt Vivian. I kept Florida because of the fact that she had such a backbone. She was such a pivotal
She
part
does.
of staying positive in the midst of so many negative storms, man. That
She
she just
did. I'm kind of rethinking it now.
yeah.
I'm kind
So
of rethinking it.
I
I'm
had to
kind of
choose
rethinking
her
it.
for that. No,
Yeah.
Harry always got to stay because Harry is my favorite on the list. Claire is because Claire is the best representation of a successful black woman who still supported her husband no matter what. And like I said, Florida, she was just they were poor. They were poor as shit.
Times are just too hard. Right.
They
Times are
were
just
poor as
too
shit.
hard.
Like and
You
she,
know, yeah, she'd be a good example of how to get along through something like that.
yeah. So it was
But
make
that's wartime living. I'm not pointing to that for the
Vietnam,
everyday.
bro.
No.
Vietnam, bro. They was in it, boy. Like, did somebody almost get drafted on that show? Like, but that
I
was
believe so. Yeah.
like so.
If you name it, if it could have happened, it happened on Good Times. Like that,
Facts,
man, it would be like
facts.
it just, oh, something's gonna go good today, JJ, and then everything else just goes off the rails.
Man,
It starts out bad. There's a little glimmer of hope, and then it ends worse. That's the way every episode was. And I've seen so many of them. I remember just being like, I can't believe, like, why do they call this show, like,
good.
that was just the worst. Yeah, it just irks me. But they have a top tier theme song. Oh, we should talk about that one day, but not today. We
Ooh,
have
things are gonna be a good one of these days.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
look, guys, we need y'all to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We appreciate everything that you guys do to help the channel grow, but we need to grow. And so we ask that you like, comment for sure, share, and subscribe. I'm burping a little bit because I've been drinking and
I mean, that's just gonna power.
yeah, I'm a power.
Yeah.
You know, like that. Hey, but we appreciate y'all, man. It's been another great episode of Room 518 from me and Dan, man. We appreciate y'all. You got anything else, Dan?
No, man. Hey, just keep coming back, man. Every week is gonna be something different but the same. It's gonna be us chopping it up about whatever's going on in the world. If you want us to cover a particular topic, drop it in the comments, hit us in DM. You can hit us up at 58pod@gmail.com. That'll be in the show notes. If you want to hit us up, give us your topics, give us a prompt or something you might want us to cover, and we'll get into that as well. Otherwise, nah, man, I got nothing, man. I wish you a good week. It was good talking to you as always, man.
Yes, sir. Love you, man. Y'all be good, guys.
Yeah, man.